Hello and welcome to the Voice of TOD. I'm Tom, and with this video we're going to go through my thoughts on Jiu Jitsu, the 2020 movie, and honestly one that I was looking forward to after seeing the trailer last year. I'm not going to give any spoilers away for the story. This movie is available on Netflix in the UK right now if you want to go and watch it, obviously after you've finished this video. But let's get into the admin stuff first. This film is directed by Dimitri Logothetis and is written by Logothetis and Jim McGarth, both of whom came up with this story as a comic book a few years ago, and that comic book seems to serve as the inspiration for this film. The details and I think some of the characters have changed, but the base idea from that comic book is the story of this film. The movie stars Alan Musso of kickboxer movie fame as Jake, Nicolas Cage as Wiley, Frank Grillo as Harrigan, Tony Jaa as Kyung, and Juju Chan as Carmen. I had to learn most of those character names from IMDb because the film doesn't actually tell you anyone outside of Jake and Wiley. So the official synopsis taken from IMDb. Every 6 years an ancient order of Jiu Jitsu fighters joins forces to battle a vicious race of alien invaders. But when a celebrated war hero goes down in defeat, the fate of the planet and mankind hangs in the balance. Not actually sure that synopsis is for the right film. That's the least of my problems. But I thought we would start with the good bits. What did I enjoy about this film? Nicolas Cage. He's great. I love it when he goes full crazy. If you've seen Mandy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And while this trailer shows you his best moments, he's really the only character that stands out to me here. He doesn't even go full crazy. If he had, I would have probably enjoyed it more, but I do like his scenes. I like his character arc, I guess you could call it that. He's great in this. He brings exactly what you think Nicolas Cage would bring to a film like this. No complaints. But sadly, now let's go on to what I didn't like. The story for this film is less than cigarette paper thin. Even less than that makes sense. I don't think the acting is bad, I just don't think anybody was given any direction outside of the action sequences, and with there not being much dialogue in this film, it's very padded out with those action sequences. There's lots of other little bits of padding that we'll get onto, and I will talk about the action sequences in more detail, but this film, it feels soulless. And I got the feeling that most of the cast didn't want to be there either. Frank Grillo of Captain America Winter Soldier fame and Skylines, if you've ever seen Skylines. He's a great actor. I like him when he pops up in these parts. He usually does a great job of really making me believe in his character and rooting for him. In this film, I didn't like him. I know that he can do much better. Tony Jaa as well, he says maybe 3 words and has a few action sequences. There's a whole subplot that starts with the US Army and an intelligence agent, but they never really explain what they're doing there, why this is all going on, their interest in any of it. And it doesn't really fit. Of what little dialogue there is in this film, a lot of it is wasted on a character who is only there for comic relief as a bad translator. And the jokes aren't even funny, it's bad. It's really bad. The action sequences I don't think are great, but they're made so much worse by the camera work and the editing. They go on for far too long. And there are so many moments where I just had to laugh because most of it makes no sense. They actually reminded me of watching Power Rangers as a kid in the early 90s, but Power Rangers flowed better. And that might be the nostalgia talking, but still, if you look at a film like Mortal Kombat, 1995's Mortal Kombat, the first one by Paul W.S. Anderson, that works for me. I believe the combat and I believe the story. I feel that that's kind of what they were going for with this. Completely misses the mark. There's one sequence about half an hour into the film. It was probably the point where I knew this was only going to get worse. The camera actually switches from a slightly strange angled shot to first person mode of what Jake, our main hero, can see, and with transitions between the two or odd moments, it didn't really work. Now I can see what they're going for, and I love the first person camera sequence in Doom and Hardcore Henry. Hardcore Henry does a fantastic job of being an action movie that's shot mostly in first person. This is nowhere near that, and I had to laugh. It did not flow, it didn't make any sense, it felt soulless is the best word I've got for it. The CGI isn't good either. There are a few scenes where the alien is throwing ninja star like weapons at people and nobody reacts to them. They're also rarely hit by these things, so there's no reason for them to react. It just looks terrible, and it's very much something that seems to have been thrown in post and is just over the top and just didn't work. The structure of the movie, they've used, I'm guessing, clips or shots from the comic book itself to cut this into maybe 5 parts. Each has its own little title. It didn't work. I get that they want to segment this journey, but it happens quite a lot, and they're very long and drawn out, and it doesn't really add anything to this film. It just pulls you out, and I think that was a big miss for me as well. This is a Predator-style, Mortal Kombat-esque film. It's taking ideas from both of those films or games, wherever you want to choose came first, mishmashing them all together in what could have been a great B-movie. The alien doesn't make any sense. It's not explained at any point. It's just this thing that shows up, it has honor, but it's killing people, and I don't know, I just think the whole thing is handled really poorly. Now, I get that this movie has a low budget, reportedly around $25 million, and for that, and with such an impressive cast, I would bet that there wasn't much left over after paying wages, and it shows, at least to me. That doesn't forgive the lack of a story or the action sequences being so bland, especially when you've got people like Tony Jaa, who has been doing stunts and has years and years of fighting experience on film sets. Alan Moosey as well has done a lot of stunt work. The guy that played the alien, again, is a professional stuntsman who has done some good stuff. It just doesn't show. It seems like a real shame, because I was hoping for so much more from this. If you enjoy bad movies, and we all do from time to time, then it's worth checking out, even just for a laugh. I admire the fact that Logothetis made this. He had this idea, he wanted to make it, he took it from a comic book into a film. I think there's rumours of this being a trilogy. Who knows? But from my perspective, this film might have just taken its place as the worst action film I've ever seen, knocking off Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which is really bad. It's not often that I say this, but I'm actually glad I didn't get into the cinema to see this, because I just feel it wouldn't have been worth my time or money. Which is, it's sad. But this film did nothing for me. And I would have thought that something like this, there'd have been something that I would have enjoyed, outside of Nicolas Cage being just an amazing human being. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end this one. Short and sweet, within reason of my reviews. If you've seen this film, let me know what you thought in the comments. Am I being too harsh? Or am I being pretty much right? Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.